Hi, welcome back to this video series. This is the Quick Start series for Waveform version 9. In this video, I'm going to cover the basics of audio editing or editing an audio clip. So I'm going to start from the beginning again, and we're going to create a project. I'll do that by clicking the plus here, selecting New Project. I gave the project name. I'll click Create. The next step is to open the edit. So we'll double click here. And now we have our edit to work with. Now by default, you get 8 tracks. I'm only going to work with 1 track. I'm going to show you how to delete the extra tracks. So I'll select the first track by clicking on the track name, hold down Shift, click the last track name, and then just press delete. This works for many things in Waveform. You just select the object you want to delete and hit delete. Very simple. So we'll go to the search. I'm going to search for the word Alex. These are our sample files. You should have these on your system. I'm going to grab the 2 bar and grab and drop that on the track. Now I'll expand a little bit. The way I'm doing this is by dragging from the top of the cursor. If you go to the top of the cursor, you get this tool. So you can drag down or up to zoom in or out. There's also another way to zoom. If you want to zoom to fill the screen with what you're working on, you can hit this little F right here. You also have tools here under zoom to maximize in the horizontal or vertical dimensions, and then also zoom in and out with these tools. So we'll get that set up the way we want. Now the very first thing I want to demonstrate is snap. As you move a clip like this, you'll see that it moves along and snaps to the increments. These allows you to easily align it to bar lines. This particular clip is 2 bars long. If I wanted it to start at bar 2, I could just drag it and it will snap positively to that bar line. If you want to move it freely, you can turn snap off. That's done in the master section here with this button down here in the lower right, snap. You can turn snap on and off with that. The keyboard shortcut for that is Q. Snapping has to do with quantizing, so I guess that's why Q has historically been the keyboard shortcut for turning snap on or off. So I'll leave that on right now. We'll put this back to bar 1. And then the next thing I want to show you is how to duplicate one of these clips. Basically all you do is select it and hit D. The keyboard shortcut D is for duplicate. I can also zoom out using the up and down arrows on the keyboard. So I'm doing up arrow a few times to show this. So if you wanted to create a backing track or something to have something to play with starting from a 2 bar loop like this, then you could just duplicate it a few times. And now I've got 8 bars. I'll hit home to rewind and now I can play back. During playback, you can adjust the track volume using the volume and pan control slider. So you go over here to the right side, just click the fader part of it, and then a larger fader will show up and you can adjust the volume. Now in order to loop anything, you set the in marker and the out marker over your selection that you want to loop. You can adjust this by double-clicking and dragging, and that will leave the in marker behind and allow you to drag, kind of like drawing in your loop selection. So if I start at bar 3, I can drag like that to set the in and out marker. Another thing you will want to learn how to do is how to select clips. This is a selected clip. I just click on the header and it becomes selected. If I want to add to the selection, you can hold down Command. So I'm going to undo a few times. Undo is Command Z. There's also an undo button right here, undo and redo. So I can undo back out of that. Now if you want to set the in marker over a selection, you select the clip and use the keyboard shortcut A. That sets the in marker and the out marker, or essentially the loop, around your selection. So if we hit D to have a 2 clip selection, and we want to select both clips, you can hold down the Option key, or which would be Alt on a PC, and just drag this box to touch any of the loops that you want to select. When I let go, I've now selected both of those clips. When I press A, it will set the in marker and the out marker around that selection. I use this all the time, and it's a very quick and convenient way to set the loop over a selection. To delete a clip, we just click on it to select it and press delete, and it goes away. Now this clip is 2 bars long. If we want to chop it into 2 pieces so we've got 2 separate clips, then position the cursor at the point you want to make the split. And I'm going to turn snap back on using the keyboard shortcut Q. We'll zoom so you can see what's going on here. And if I click here, you can position the cursor by clicking in any space in the background, and it will snap if snap is on. So we'll position it right here. As long as the clip is selected using the slash key, not backslash, but the slash key, splits. So that's your split action. You also have controls to do it in a variety of ways right here. Split clips at cursor position down in properties shows you how to do that. So if you really want to do some editing, I'm going to select this. I'll hit A to set the in marker and out marker on it and play it. We'll turn loop on with L. And I'm going to split right at this spot right here. And I'll split again here. And so it gives you a lot of control over different ways. I'll delete the second piece of it here for right now. Now if we turn snap off and we want to really, really carefully split on the transients, we can do that as well. So I'll turn snap, well, snap is off, so I can just drag the cursor, and then without lifting the cursor, without lifting the mouse button as I drag the cursor, I'll just hit slash, and I'll just keep dragging, and then I'll go to the next piece of it and hit slash again. And slash. And this is kind of a way you can manually chop things up on the beat. All right, so I'm going to create a fill out of this by doubling up on this last beat. So the way I can shorten up a clip, because now I've got these separated into several audio clips, is I can drag this, and this will trim back. So that'll be essentially shorten the clip. So then I'm going to duplicate that. All right, that doesn't sound right. So we'll drag that out to this beat position. All right, that sounds a little unnatural. So I can adjust this by dragging the trim handle to make that a little bit longer. Could do that to this one as well. Drag it out to here. So with a little bit of cut and paste editing, I've just created a fill out of this standard beat. If I want to heal this back to the original beat, then I select all the clips using what I showed you before. I'll hold down Option, drag across all of them, and then we can merge the clips. Now there's a keyboard shortcut for that, which is Option M. I'm going to show you how to find that by looking in the keyboard shortcut section. So we'll go to Settings, to the keyboard shortcuts, and in the search, I'm going to type Merge. And you can see here is Merge Selected Clips, Option M. You can set this to anything you want. You can also search for all kinds of things in the keyboard shortcut page on Settings, and it's very helpful. For instance, if you want to learn about more ways to zoom, you can just type in zoom. you'll find the zoom in, zoom out, fast zoom, vertical zoom, zoom to fit, and a variety of other things. Anyway, now we know Option M is the merge, and that will basically render this into one solid clip if it's selected. So I'll do Option M, and there now we're back to one single clip. I can play it. Command Z will undo it. I could also have hit right here to do undo or redo using those buttons. So I'll redo that. Now we've covered how to split a clip, how to duplicate clips, how to merge clips. I've also shown you how to trim. I'm going to show you a little bit more about trimming. These hollow tools are for trimming, the little hollow arrows on the left and the right. So if I do this, I can trim, meaning adjust the size of the window around the waveform. I can do it with the right side as well. The solid tools are for slip, and all of these other tools in the middle have different functions that I'm not going to cover at this point. The ones I want you to remember right now are these hollow arrows on either corner that allow you to basically adjust the size of the clip. Now just below those are the fade handles. You'll see right here, when I grab right here, I can pull this back and I can do a fade like this. So that'll do a fade out. If I want to adjust the shape of that into a nice S shape, then look down here. I've got 4 shapes that I can use for the tail and 4 that I can use for the front part or the head part of the wave. So I'm going to click this one. That'll give me a quicker fade out. That gives me an S-shaped fade out. Or I can get this sort of slightly more delayed fade out. I really like the S fade out, so I'll go with that. If you want to do a fade in, you can just pull this back to eliminate that one. We'll do a fade in. There's a linear. Those are very helpful if you're doing editing. You just want a gradual, very small fade at the beginning. If you want a really cool effect, then right-click on this fade and you can do a pitch fade. So that's a speed up as pitch fade. That means it will sound like it's increasing in pitch as it comes in. Give it a little more time. And you can also do a pitch fade spin down effect by just doing slow down here, and we'll fade that across this clip. Great creative tool right here, very accessible in Waveform, and it's a lot of fun to work with that. Another really common editing task that you might want to do is to reverse the entire waveform. Make sure your clip is selected by clicking it. Down in Properties, you'll find toward the center is Reverse. Just click Reverse, and that flips it around backwards. And then you can undo that. Now, one more thing you can do is loop a clip. Looping is available from the header. If you click L, you can see it turns green right here, and it's also enabled the loop mode. So now I have basically 2 copies of it, and the right trim handle becomes the loop tool. So as you drag this, you can now roll out repeats. If I just zoom out a little bit, I can pull out to like here 17 bars. I'll turn on snap with Q. I just hit A to set the in and out markers over the entire set of repetitions. So that gives you a very fast way to roll out repetitions over the course of a song, so you've got something to play against other than a click track when you're getting started writing a tune. Now, one more thing I wanted to point out is that the escape key works to deselect anything that you have selected. So use Option Drag to select all of these, and I want to not select them. Hit Escape and it clears the selection. And with that, we've covered all the basics of working with audio clips. There's a lot more you can do with this. The user guide is a great resource for the finer details of audio editing. I'm sure we'll cover more of those in future videos as well. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in another video very soon.